I was on Fox News in 2011 when you had the 2.5 Men cancellation and the winning and like the super torqued up Charlie with all the testosterone. Sure. You write about, like, it was at something like 4,000, which is, I don't know what number is supposed to be normal, but it's like 2 digits, not 3 and not 4.
I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen. I'm different. I just have a different constitution. I have a different brain. I have a different heart. I have a different, I get tiger blood, man.
You don't worry that you're going to die when you take that many drugs?
Dying's for fools.
So you got fired from 2.5 Men and you went on this like winning tour. And what I see in the documentary really jumped out at me, which was, this is my opinion, totally douchebag managers who exploited you.
The troubled actor is taking his bizarre behavior out on the road for Charlie Sheen Live, my violent torpedo of truth.
I think what your name is synonymous, and I don't mean this in a negative way, is trouble. And I think like Torpedoes of Truth is so brilliant because it's like, it just sounds exciting.
Who were like, get out there, go out on the stage, make money. They want to see you. Meanwhile, you were in crisis. So it's kind of irritating as a fan and a viewer to see that happen. How do you see the role of those around you, the professional people?
In the middle of that whole chaos, I was. It's kind of a double-edged sword because I was really hard to control. I had found some different level of I don't know what. There was just some other energy or some other possession or just thing that I just needed to stay attached to, and I can't even really describe it. It was, I don't want to say it was out of body because then you're kind of like not owning it. I knew what was going on. I just didn't want it to stop. And that's the part I can't really explain. When I look back on that stuff, it's like, dude, like, okay, maybe after that interview, you issue a statement or you just like you just disappear somewhere for a month or but to keep that thing going was just like, that's the part, just the energy that required. I don't have that kind of stamina anymore. But as far as the people that I guess you could say were more complicit than not, it does take 2 to tango. And I say in the book that in this case, it felt more like 2000. But I also specifically write a line about in the years since I've combed through the mental health manual, and I still can't find vile exploitation as a treatment protocol. So that is a quote from the book. So yeah, I'm gonna point some of that stuff out. And then when I talk about Mark Berg, and Mark and I are great friends these days, but I do say Mark was the gatekeeper, and I wish he would have had a better key or a stronger lock, or something that or a lock that looked more like a comfy chair and a willing ear. It's like I just think there could have been a moment in the middle of all that when someone could have just said, all right, we're gonna, we're putting the chairs on the table, putting the lights on, the party's over, this guy's coming with us. And just and it could have been interrupted, but then suddenly there's this idea for a tour, and I'm like, what does that mean? I'm not did I start a band I can't remember forming? Is there some part of me, like, because touring for me could only be a musician or like a really popular comedian, right? And there was nothing funny about my act at that point, right? But and then Live Nation gets involved and I go visit them and suddenly, I'm holding a machete to a cheering crowd and they're booking dates, which is why in the book, the only thing that I describe on that tour is that I don't want to give it away, but is that incident that takes place in the bathroom, and I think just symbolically that's really how I felt about that whole shitstorm,
I watched it and I just thought, I watched it when it happened as a newswoman, and I was horrified at how you were being exploited. It was obvious you were in crisis. I felt the same about Kanye. I did not interview Kanye when he was going on his recent media tour, because I could see the guy was in the middle of what appeared to be a bipolar episode. I did not pile on when that mayor up in Canada was going through it. Like, I just don't like it when news people, I think news people too have a responsibility not to have you on when you're in that state and pretend that you're okay or that this is an okay interview to be doing, because this is a compromised person who needs help, not to be exploited for clicks. It's very fucking annoying as a news person to watch.
Yeah, no, and that's great to hear. At least there's one of you that cares. No, there's others, I'm sure, but even the Andrea Canning of it all, right? She's terrific, and I'm a fan, and you know, she does great work.
She was with ABC at the time, and I put this responsibility on ABC.
Yeah, but I was working out in a gym, and I saw her on a monitor, like up in the corner of the room with the sound off. And I knew this interview was coming, and I didn't know what the hell it was going to turn into. But I was with somebody, and I said, "Hey, what about her? She looks pretty smart. She looks like she knows what she's doing. Maybe she'll do the interview." I mean, literally, it was like that. No research, nothing. Didn't know her backstory. So she gets just yanked into this thing, you know, and then she was like just front and center for that thing, you know.
She was like putting on the seatbelt to do that interview. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, you'd be right. Whether as a hedge against inflation, peace of mind during global instability, or just for sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so they created something special. Until September 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit right now. Just text MK to 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you're still eligible for a rebate in free metals of up to 10 grand. So make right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate up to $10,000 when you buy before September 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and get your free info kit. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.